Hello everyone, welcome to our show Creative World. I'm your host Shin Matsuba. We'll be introducing some amazing talented people, chatting with them in a one-on-one interview, hearing their stories, picking their brains, looking through the kaleidoscope of Creative World. Today's guest is the world of culture. Today's guest is someone who specializes in US-Japan relationship. After she started in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, she worked for various organizations, including the Japanese American National Museum and MUFG Union Bank. She has sat on the boards of various non-profit organizations, including Nisei Week Foundation and International Visitors Council of Los Angeles, and is currently a board member of the US-Japan Council and Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, as well as a few other Japanese cultural organizations. She currently serves as the president of JAPAN HOUSE Los Angeles. Please welcome Yuko Kaifu. Hello, Yuko. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
So, the first question is a two-part question. What made you decide to work in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, and could you tell us about the work?
Of course, it goes back to a long time ago actually, but ever since I was junior college schoolgirl, I wanted to do something to work abroad. But at that time, job opportunities for women, particularly to work abroad, was really limited. And working at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to become a diplomat became my dream. So I tried it out and I was successful.
Wow, what kind of process did you have to go through though to apply?
So there are different phases of exams. Like there's this, unlike in the United States, there's a standardized test like the entrance exam, and then you get interview a couple of times.
Okay, so once you entered, what kind of work did you do actually?
So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has, with the State Department, has an excellent program, training program.
Okay.
So the new recruits are sent overseas first to study for 2 years or 3 years to do language training. So in my case, and you're supposed to choose the language, and English was given to me, and I was sent overseas to Canada to study at Queen's University to get my master's, and then after that I was posted to the Embassy of Japan in Ottawa.
Wow.
So you are immediately engaged in diplomatic work overseas, but then when I got posted back to Japan, working at the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it's like the bureaucratic work that I was engaged in.
Right. I could imagine that it's really hard and long time work. Is that pretty much what I'm imagining about the work, or is that look different?
Well, things are changing now, and it was not like 20, 30 years ago when I joined. But at that time, yes, it was a very long working hours because of part of it was different time lags and time zones. So you have to stay late to communicate with overseas missions.
Right.
So it was really
and time difference, of course.
Time difference, yes. So I had to stay up to 12 midnight to hit the road to go home.
And it wake up like 7 or something?
Yes, we had to be in the office at least before 9 or so.
Wow, that sounds tough.
Yes, it was tough, but I was young.
Wow, that's fantastic. So when you were there in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you were also appointed an official interpreter for dignitaries such as Her Majesty, the Empress of Japan, as well as the Prime Minister of Japan, right? Do you have any stories that you could share with us that might have left some impression on you?
Of course. So Her Majesty, the Empress of Japan, was a really gracious, highly sophisticated person. It was an honor. And I was one of the first female interpreters assigned. So it was an honor. But apart from that, I interpreted for prime ministers, foreign ministers of Japan when they met with the dignitaries from abroad, and particularly presidents of the United States. I interpreted for President Reagan, President Bush, like Papa Bush, and President Clinton and his wife, Hillary Clinton, as well. So it was an honor. The best memory that I had was when Prime Minister visited the United States when the Papa Bush was in his office. President Bush invited him to his summer residence in Kennebunkport in Maine. And I accompanied the delegation and I stayed overnight in the summer residence. And I was given a room upstairs, so where the main bedroom was, where President Bush and Barbara Bush were staying. So it was really very nervous, but then,
of course.
And it's really like dream coming true kind of experience.
Right. So when you're working with that like high profile people, you pretty much have to stay with them all the time, or there's some like break or only certain amount of hours you have to spend with them?
Well, actually, of course, when they stayed, the Prime Minister stayed inside in his suite, of course, could take a break. But we had to be on alert because he actually, that's what happened during his stay in Boston. Prior to his visitation to Kennebunkport, he decided to take a walk.
Right.
And I was in my office and I had words by my supervisor at that time that, okay, you have to be on alert all the time. So, so that I accompanied, kind of rushed to follow the Prime Minister's delegation walking around Boston. There is a Central Park in Boston as well. So that was...
In that regard, did you sleep okay during that time?
Well, of course, it's hard. It's hard to sleep well, but then if you lack sleep, you cannot function well. Translation, interpretation really needs intensive work, brain work. So, but it was really special because I tell you one story about my stay at Kennebunkport. First of all, we were shipped from Boston to Kennebunkport by Marine One, which is the equivalent to Air Force One. It's a helicopter serving for the president. So Marine One landed at the heliport within the compound of the property of President Bush. So I was given a small room upstairs where usually during the summertime his grandchildren stay with them. And it was one of those rooms that is usually used by one of his grandchild. So it was really, it's not like a mansion that you see in Beverly Hills. It's big, but it's not like flamboyant kind of. It's warm, it's down to the earth kind of house. And I was told that, okay, interpreter has to attend and interpret for breakfast meeting. So you cannot eat breakfast. When you wake up in the morning, you're welcome to go downstairs to the kitchen and help yourself. There are eggs and toast and things like that. And the following morning, I woke up and certainly I was planning to go downstairs and saw downstairs from the railing and saw the president talking with National Security Advisor. And it says, oh my God, so I could not really go downstairs. I did not have the courage. If I were given that role now, I would certainly go downstairs and say, good morning, Mr. President.
Right. Oh, food is great.
Exactly. I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So now you're the president of Japan House Los Angeles, right? Could you tell us about Japan House Los Angeles and then what aspect of Japan House Los Angeles would you like to people in LA to enjoy?
Of course. So Japan House is a public diplomacy initiative launched by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. We're located in 3 locations, London, Sao Paulo, and Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is the only one in North America. So our audience is everyone in North America.
Right.
And the purpose of it is to showcase the best of Japan, various aspects of Japan in various fields, art and culture, to science, technology, innovation, design, fashion, architecture, food, you name it. So we have a gallery. For exhibition, and we have a shop space, library where we're sitting, event space, event hall, and the restaurant.
Back in there, right?
Yes, exactly, and the restaurant space. Really, what we aim at is to provide experiences of Japan to our visitors with the 5 senses: to see, to smell, to eat, to taste, to hear, and to touch.
Touch, right.
That's what we have been doing. Of course, under the pandemic, we have not been able to do that. We have to close the facilities, but then in the meantime, we're providing information through webinars and newsletters and website. We could finally reopen our gallery in early April. And now we've opened a new exhibition, which has been really popular.
Which is exciting.
Yes.
Wow, fantastic.
Thank you.
So I also heard that the second floor currently new exhibition is going on, right? So could you tell us about it too?
Yes, so far we've hosted about 12, 13 major exhibitions ever since we opened to the public. The soft opening started in December 2017, and the grand opening was during the summer, August 2018. 2018, okay. So we've started to host exhibitions since early part of 2017. In various areas. So sometimes we did innovative exhibition, we did craftsmanship, we featured Japanese paperworks. But Currently, it's one of the new initiatives that we have. Like we have the installation by contemporary Japanese artist called Kengo Kito. And we got more than 2,000 hula hoops to assemble one installation. And it's colorful, and it's the meaning of it. The title is Reconnecting.
Reconnecting.
And it has a couple of meanings to it. One is, of course, under the pandemic, for more than a year or so, a few months, we had to isolate ourselves from our loved ones, friends, relatives, family, the community. But thanks to the alleviating situation in the United States, we are gradually getting reconnected.
Yes.
Right. So this is the symbolic meaning, this reconnecting, how great it is.
Right.
What a nice feeling. And it's uplifting.
Right, exactly.
Another thing is that the Olympic Games, Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games have been on, and the one of the themes, the concept is unity in diversity. And of course, when you see the installation, you can see that the hula hoops have different colors, right? And it's variety. But then they are installed to form one single installation, the art piece.
Right.
So it's really unity in diversity.
So for that, I didn't actually know that you worked also for MUFG Union Bank. It's the U.S. subsidiary of the Bank of Mitsubishi UFJ, right? And which is one of the mega banks in Japan. So you have worked for the government, have worked for a non-profit organization and a private company as well. So how different is that though, like working for those different worlds?
I never imagined when I joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I never imagined that I would change my jobs. I thought that it would be career for my life. But then when I got posted here to the Consul General's office and started to do US-Japan relationship building or strengthening in my own small way, also connecting with Japanese American community, which was long lost during the war, after the war. So that was one of the things that I felt inspired to do. And that's part of the reason why I decided to leave the ministry in the first place, to work at the Japanese American National Museum, and then, as you said, Union Bank, and then on to Japan House.
Right.
So, but then there's this consistency in all these workplaces that I ended up in working, because it's all about connecting people, particularly between Japan and the United States.
Right.
Even when I was at Union Bank, I was not counting money. I'm terrible at counting money or managing my own account either.
Me neither, I just cannot do it.
But I was in the PR section and corporate communications and the CSR. So connecting bank executives with the Japanese American community and to give back to the community is one thing that Union Bank felt very strongly about. So in many ways it was consistent. Wherever I worked, it's the same. And it's Japan House is the same, that we want to disseminate and deliver Japan to overseas people. And not just people who love Japan already, who know about Japan already, but people who don't know much about the country. We want them to like or be impressed about Japan. So there's this consistency, as you can see.
It's fantastic. So as you just said, I can clearly see that you're very passionate about making the relationship between the US and Japan closer and stronger, and also as well as communicating the best and various aspects of Japan to the rest of the world. Tell me, where your passion come from?
I don't know. I guess I can't thank enough what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs provided. I mean, and I was there for quite a few years, and so I learned everything there. And what instilled me there was the importance of not just the governmental level of relationship, but the people-to-people relationships between the president and prime minister, or be it like local people, visitation, exchange of people. So that's what my passion is.
Wow. So regardless of the level of class or whatever, so you're just passionate for connecting people. I mean, especially between Japan and the US. Wow, that is fantastic. Wait, there's part 2. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.